All right, a bastard. This is a funny email somebody sent me like 10 years ago. And I torture my students at every turn. Let me hear. Squash. How many squashes did we have? My squash came in beautifully this year. I got a 75-pound pumpkin. Humongous. Only one squash, Joanne. The lone squash. Thank you. Others.
Carrot.
Carrot. How many carrots?
Wow.
Carrot is the one I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Another one. Broccoli?
Well, I thought about it.
Did anybody say broccoli? Let's put broccoli up there. Broccoli, how many? I'm sorry, broccoli's 1, 2, 3, 4. Broccoli wasn't that good this year. Carrots are pretty good. Squash are off the chart. Give me 2 more. Potato. My potatoes sucked this year, which is amazing because you can grow potatoes by throwing a potato in the ground in Oregon. Get more. How many potatoes? We got 1, 2, 3. Give me one more. Cucumber's a fruit, isn't it? Now we're talking. No, it's gotta be vegetable. Cucumber. We got at least 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cucumbers. All right. Now I know a lot of the rest of you had other ones. Probably like did anybody say like tomato, which I think technically I love the phrase. Tomato's a fruit. Wisdom, knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in fruit salad. I love that phrase. Yeah. So when I say cucumber, I immediately thought of that. I'm like, shut up, Rule. That's a damn vegetable. It's like a tomato is. What a Pareto diagram does, when you get data like this, which is so highly skewed with 1 or 2 of the data points, is it draws you a bar graph that emphasizes that. That emphasizes that exponential difference. So let's make a set of axes. This is, what kind of data is this? Is this quantitative or qualitative? Now when I say the data is the vegetable itself. The squash, the carrot, the broccoli, the potato, and the cucumber. Is that quantitative? Are those numbers? Not the counts of them. Not the counts. Are these numbers? They're qualitative, aren't they? Counting them has got to be quantitative, of course. But the data themselves, the actual vegetable, is qualitative. We could number the vegetables, but let's not do that, because if you number it, you lose what the vegetables were. So the vegetables themselves are qualitative, which means we can put them wherever the hell we want on this axis, right? We're not bound by a number line anymore. So what the Pareto diagram does is it puts the most frequent one at the far left, or the far right. I like to put it at the far left. Carrots. Followed by broccoli. Followed by cucumber. I guess we don't have to follow by. Followed by potato. Followed by squash. And ideally, and this is where computer technology helps, those should all occupy the same amount of space on the bar. Then, that's the data. Otherwise known as vegetables. The frequency is going to be the second dimension up here. If you think about it, tell me, it's not Emily, Emily's over here. Riley, this is your T-table. That's your T-table there on the left. But when I put it in a histogram form, you really get an idea for how many of you said carrot. So scale this axis appropriately. I'm going to call this 20 if it's okay with you guys. 10, 5, 15. And then you just draw in the bars that go with the data. So 16 of you said carrot. So let's draw a bar right about 16. Bring it up to about here. Broccoli came in at 4. Cucumber came in at 4 as well. These should be the same width, ideally. Potato came in at 3. Squash came in at 1. You see how that almost looks exponential? Not to use a Math 111 term, sorry. But it's got that curve to it. Yeah. The lion's share of your data came in the first 1 or maybe 2 compartments, and then everything else is almost an afterthought. That's why it's called a Pareto. It's named after the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who invented a principle called the 80-20 principle. 80% of the wealth is held by 20% of the people. I would claim in America it's even worse. I would claim it's even worse in America. But the idea is wealth, in this case, is the frequency of occurrence, right? And the 20% of the people would be those who said carrot, the verb carrot, or the noun carrot.
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
what's the purpose of the math question?
The math question, I don't know, and every term I tell myself, don't add it to 6, add it to something else and see if it still happens. And every term I forget until I'm halfway through, I'm like, shit, 57's term. Somebody sent me an email that did that, and then it said, think of a vegetable. I'm like, all right, carrot. I went down, I'm like, bitch said carrot. I'm like, so, you should know that. So those of you guys that didn't say carrot, there's some psychological thing that bucks the trend. People have told me it's because it adds to 6, and there are 6 letters in carrot. I say there are 6 letters in squash. There are 6 letters in potato. There are 6 letters in tomato.
That's crazy.
Why carrot? Hell if I know. I got no theory.
Most people like carrots over squash, perhaps.
Perhaps. I love that statement was refutable until you said perhaps. Most people like carrots over squash. Prove it.
Well,
Then you said perhaps. I'm like, yeah, can't argue with that, can I? Perhaps. Absolutely. Is it Christy?
Sandra.
Sandra. Not even close to Christy. There we go. Not even in a ballpark. There's an S in it. It's kind of a ballpark. Yeah, that's the thing is we can psychologically try to figure out all day long why that happened. I have no good answer for you. But it always does, which I find very, very cool. Anyway, I used to ruin it because I would ask when I was explaining what a random sample and a parameter and a statistic were. I would say, how many of you like broccoli? And this was like an hour ago, right? And people would raise their hand, and then I would get more broccoli. So I was planting that bias seed in your minds by doing that. I don't think I said carrot today, though, or any vegetable for that matter. So I have no idea. I have no good answer for you as to why. It just always does, and it gives me perfect Pareto data, which I love. I remember doing this at a math conference.